Good morning, everyone. Morning, afternoon, evening. I don't know what time it is for you. It's my morning, so I'm sipping my coffee. I'm more than halfway, and I'm so excited. So I disappeared from YouTube, as you can tell. So it's been maybe 3 months, and I was telling to myself I will be posting every single month. Life kept us busy. So summer, we travel a lot. Fall again. The weather is beautiful here during summer and fall. So we spend a lot of time outside. Now winter is coming in Canada, so maybe I will be spending more time inside and then hopefully upload more videos. So this morning I woke up and I thought, why not explaining for people that are new to this word? They might be confused about the different terms. It's been 12 years I'm in relationship with my pilot husband, so we have a beautiful daughter together and we are married. So now it's not my partner anymore, but I used to be in that stage when I first met him. So I was thinking of explaining the different terms so that you get to understand better and you don't feel lost when he or she talks to you. So the first word is the base. So what is a base for a pilot? It's the location where the pilot is operating the flights, and that's the location where they start operating one flight and they have to go back to that base. It's something that happens a lot in the US, in Canada maybe too, but yeah, in Canada too, yeah, I know some people are doing it, but in other, well, actually also in Europe, I don't know a lot of crew in Asia, but also in Europe I met some crew doing this. So some people are based in a city, but they live in another city, and then they commute every single time they have to operate a flight or like a certain time of duty that we call pairing, that I will explain after. And so they would, I forgot my thought because I'm talking about pairings right now. So I was saying, so they're based somewhere and they have to commute, which actually in our case, so we're not commuting, we're based, so we live in the city where my husband is based. However, we're thinking of commuting in the future. That gives you a lot of flexibility, because it means that you don't have to live where you are based. However, it adds up on time because you need to take flights to get to your base, and then it actually reduces your days off or your rest time. And also another thing is it's expensive because you need to pay tickets on your own. So airline employees, they get benefits, so they can fly standby and they can fly jumpseat, that I will be explaining later, that is even less expensive or even free for some people. However, when I said it's actually expensive, it's not expensive if you are flying on a jumpseat. However, if you don't fly with your airline, you won't be able to fly as a jumpseat, and then it won't be free. So anyway, all the situations are very different. I don't want to confuse your mind, but you have to take into account that commuting might cost you something, and then it costs you time as well. Another word is pairing. Let's talk about pairing because I mentioned it. So pairing is a period of duty for crew, and the pairing might be 1 day long if they actually go to certain destination, come back the same day, or they do like 4 flights, going somewhere, coming back, going somewhere else, coming back, but during the evening, so they would be home. Or it might last several days if they have to spend 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours in the specific destination before coming back to their base. So that brings me to another word, that is layover. So what are layovers? Layovers are actually time that a crew is gonna spend somewhere to rest, and how long it's gonna take depends on a lot of things. So every airlines, they have different routes. To make it simple, layovers might depend if the airline has flights every single day. It's unlikely that the crew is gonna spend more than 24 hours, because what happens is they would, like, let's say they come late, they would sleep at the destination, and then the next day another crew is bringing the plane and they operate the plane back again to the base an hour and a half after. So they would be spending 24 hours. But it might be even shorter if they are commuting to another destination to operate a flight to their base. Let's say the example of London to Paris in this case. This is called Decoded. So they are transferring to another city where they would be operating the flight. I hope everything makes sense. Well, in my head it makes sense. But so yeah, and then some layovers might be longer because the frequencies of flights for this, like the, let's say the base to the destination is not very frequent by week. Let's say they only have a flight on Monday and then on Friday. Then this means that if the crew is operating the flight, it's a long one, they can't be just going back to the base on the same day. They have to take the minimum rest. There is no options of sending them to another city, and then they have to stay in for the time that they bring back the airplane on Friday, and then they operate the flight again. So I hope it's not too confusing, but these are the different terms. So jump seat, they are, because I actually mentioned jump seat. So jump seats are seats that are not assigned to passengers, and in general you can find jump seats in the galley where the flight attendant seat, or in the cockpit you have a third seat. This could be when there is a third pilot in duty, or if there is a pilot that is doing the assessment during the flight, or sometimes some spouse or partners or family members can be jump seats, or there is an employee from the company that is allowed to be a jump seat and there are no seats available, and then they can get the jump seat when there are the very last seats available. So these are the situations I have in mind. If I forget anyone, and if this is not accurate for your airline, please telling me. That's as far as I know. Roster, I'm so sorry for English speaking people. English is not my mother tongue. As you can tell, I have French accent. I don't know if this is the right pronunciation. Am I pronouncing right? Roster? Looks like coffee thing, but anyway. This is the schedule for crew. So every single month, they have a deadline where they need to submit their preferences, it's called bid, for specific pairings for next month. And it means that they don't have a schedule for the year. They have a new schedule every month, and they don't know their schedule until once a month they get their schedule out. So what is important to know? Well, this is something specific to us too, so I'm talking about that, but it's not relevant for other people. When I first met my husband, he had like 10 years of seniority with the company, and that means a lot because based on the seniority, you have like what you would like to get as a pairing for next month. So let's say you don't have a lot of seniority in a company. That means that you have low chances to get the pairings. On top of that, you are likely to be on reserve. What is reserve? So reserve is a month where you are on call for flying. So any time of the day, you need to be ready. And if they have an airplane broken, a crew sick, they might call you and tell you so you have 2 hours or an hour and a half to get to the airport and then fly to that destination. So these are usually assigned to more junior crew because it's uncertain, and the higher in seniority, the higher chances you get to get the pairings you want. So now that my husband has, I think, almost 20 years in the company, in the airline, he has a lot of priority in terms of what he can request, which means that, yeah, for us, we sit together every single month and then we decide, okay, this is like next month we are planning this and this person is in town. Can you request for days off during that period, etc.? And most of the time he gets what he wants. But when you start, it doesn't happen. So that does impact the family, the couple, and the pilot life a lot, and the experience, it changes. But that's something, so I told you that, so it means that the higher chances he gets to get the nice pairings and what he wants, meaning that it gets better over years. So if you struggle and you find it hard right now because your partner is very junior in a company, and know that it might change, and it will change actually if the person stays in the company. And the most difficult years are the first years. Well, it's hard because you pay for school that is very expensive. It's a lot of time studying, and then you go through a lot of tests, and then you're building flying hours, and then when you start, it's stressful, and then you don't get the best pairings and everything, and then the pay is not very good. But in pilot's career, it changes and it gets better over years. So that's something maybe reassuring, I hope, for you to know if you are in a hard situation right now. Another term is, so I said jump seat, roster, whatever how you pronounce it, layovers, bays, and check ride. Woohoo! Something that anyway, I'm not gonna say it's not my preferred one. I find it has a huge impact in our life too. So what is a check ride? So it's basically an assessment every 6 months, I think. Pilots, like commercial pilots that work for airline, I don't know about cargo pilots, I'm assuming this is the same, but passenger, definitely it's very strict. They go through tests every single 6 months. Well, in Canada at least it's like that. I don't know about aviation rules globally, but in Canada it's every 6 months, and they need to do tests. So they're put in emergency situations in simulator, and they're also asked many questions during one check, like a flight where there is someone that is going to assess. It could be someone from the airline, and sometimes it's someone from the aviation organization that checks everything, like the company has everything up to date, and then the pilots are trained well, and then they know their stuff and everything. The reason why I said it's not my favorite one is I completely understand why this is put in place, and it's making the job, the aviation life of people in a better, like more secured place. Let's call it like that. The reason why it's not my favorite one is because it does affect a lot our family and our plans, because it means that every 6 months my husband has to go through intense study. He takes that very seriously, so he takes 2 weeks of intense studying, and it makes sense, because when you want the pilot to know if there is an emergency, what procedure is applicable, and then they don't go back into their papers and then they check, okay, oh, I forgot if there is engine failure, what do I have to do, blah, blah, blah. So it makes total sense, but it means that during this period, I don't organize anything. There is no like dinner with family members, friends, and yeah, all our plans revolve around this very important period. And this was the last word, so feel free to comment, tell me if I forgot any word. I hope you find it useful, I hope it helped. If you wanna send me a message, you can contact me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, way more than YouTube. So if you find this page, you find it useful, but you feel like, oh, but she's not posting regularly, I'm attempting to post more regularly, but I'm very active on Instagram. So check my Instagram, send me a DM. I always love it. And then share your thought by comment. And also, please let me know if there is a specific topic you would be interested. So yeah, I'm so happy that you are here and you watched the video until the end. This is crazy. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and speak to you soon.